Hi fellowship friends, my name is Ben Titus. I'm a bassist originally from Virginia, now in Milwaukee, and I just wanted to give a quick overview of my pedal board setup here. It's not going to be a super hi-fi video of any sort, but hopefully give you a decent idea of the kind of stuff that I'm up to, and I hope you enjoy. So we'll start off, I'll just do some handheld walk around with my camera of what this entails, and then I'll do playing demo of some of my patches and things like that. So hope you enjoy. Okay, so here's a little just quick walkthrough of what I've got happening here. The heart of this system is a Line 6 Helix. Not a ton of bass players use this, but some are, and there's some definitely strong modeling that can be used here. Most of my gigs nowadays involve in-ear monitoring, so it's nice to have some options to fatten up the sound where an amplifier wouldn't normally do it. And I'll walk through kind of what that is in a minute. This is the Plus pedal, which Brittany has covered a little bit in her pedal video, but this is a sustain pedal that allows for volume swells and just sustaining chords and stuff. It's very cool for spacey things or for layering when it comes to soloing. The pedal over here is an adjustment or a pedal that controls the Plus that'll let it only work in the wet versus just dry. So you can play something on the bass and nothing comes through the speaker until you press on that. And it makes for some really cool sounds. This is just a little itty-bitty mixer for when I'm using this to teach lessons through, or just running it all into one amplifier versus two separate channels, which I'm going to get into in just a moment, because on the top here, on my homemade little pedal board riser, is a Boss RC300 loop station. I use this live in bands as well as for my solo work, and most of the time it is run through a separate channel on the mixing board so that it's individual or independently controllable from the bass signal. It also makes it to where I don't inadvertently overdrive inputs on bass amps or anything like that. When I am doing this solo, which is typically a much lower volume level than in a band situation, I run it all through this little Gamechanger mixer I've got here, and then each volume level is independently controllable. I can run two in and then one out in order to make this that much easier to use in a live situation where the volume levels won't be high enough while layering loops to start garbling things up. So in terms of what the Helix can do, I could spend hours on this, but the long and short of, or the short version of it, is that you can do all of these little blocks, and within these blocks you can arrange it on different chains. You can have two parallel chains that you can switch back and forth in. What I've got on this particular patch is it runs and then it continues to run here, and each of those chains has its own side chain for different effects and things like that. This is kind of my meat and potatoes patch I use for a lot of different stuff. So I've got like an overdrive, a wah, an octaver, down tune a half step, up tune a half step. This is like a Qtron with overdrive kind of thing, fuzzy for the an organ patch in a couple of different songs. There's another kind of Qtron setup, but a little bit different. This allows me to hit this for, especially in solo stuff, I've got it set to where it engages an EQ that rolls the lows off so that it's not too muddy, but it also boosts the volume. So if I'm playing up higher on the neck, it allows me to do that. You know, I've got a level boost in case I need it. I've got a mini looper here that I will use for certain things. And the possibilities with this thing are just kind of endless. So like I've got a completely clean patch that doesn't have any amp modeling on it at all. A guitar patch that takes all my stuff up an octave. This is a patch I built to sound like Muse's bass player for Hysteria. This is my go-to tool patch. And there's so much of this stuff you can find online as well. Other people have built it. The great thing with digital pedals like this is that the community is growing and growing around them, and people are sharing their patch builds, and you can use those as great starting points if you're working on trying to build a different sound. Qtron plus a little bit of extra oomph. This is kind of like a dance patch. It's got different octavers and stuff like that in it. Some delays. I've got chorus. So I'm going to just take it to a clean channel, or one that's not been set to anything yet. So this is how it comes kind of stock. You can select a number of different inputs. So you can run, you could use, I have used this board as a mixer in a pinch before, because you can run so much different stuff into it. You can run multiple guitars, you can run multiple signal chains. I'll try to show the back of this thing in terms of the connectivity. And I don't think I'm gonna get enough light here. But what we end up with, I'll have to find a flashlight in a moment. Actually, that's the best way to do it, I think. Just do this. I can just gently unhook some things. There we go. So this is the kind of patch bay that this thing's got in the back of it. You've got, you can attach multiple expression pedals. You got a guitar, an aux, and a microphone in. You can plug stuff in through the sends and returns. It's got XLR out, 1/4 inch out, phones out. If you're a Variax person, you can plug a Variax into this thing and really go crazy. It's got MIDI throughs, in and through. USB, you can use this as a recording interface. I've not had great luck with that, but I hear that that could just be a Mac versus this pedal issue. But I, just to compensate, I just run it all through a, whatchamacallit, my PreSonus board, and it works beautifully for that. Yeah, so once you have all that stuff plugged in, you can go in and just start with these tone blocks. So these are all of the different options that you've got. You got a bunch of different distortions that you can work with. And a lot of this stuff is guitar stuff, a lot of this stuff is bass stuff. The cool thing is that you have them both and you can mix them. You can blend things together, mixing in the different clean tones, or mixing in the source tone with the affected tone, so dry tone versus wet. This is the legacy, like your classic Line 6 pedals and stuff like that. So it's different compressors and things like that, EQs, different modulation effects. This thing's got pretty much everything in it in some way, shape, or form. I know that I probably only know how to use about 50% of what this thing's capable of. This part's the really cool stuff, for me anyway. There's a lot of presets in here that are just like classic stuff. So, you've got these Ampeg deals here. That's an Aguilar setup. These are Mesa Boogie models, Gallien-Kruger models, Del Sols, and just a ton of stuff in here to play with. You can do amp and cab. You can do, so within the cabinets, within the amps, say I click on Gallien-Kruger. So as I go through it, so I can select different drives, the different masters, and then this is where I can select the type of microphone that is modeled, how far away from the speaker it is, what type of cuts and things are used on it. You can go in and select different amp cabinets, the whole 9 yards. Like, it's really cool what you can do when you're playing through this. And you can combine so many different things. Impulse response is for when people actually test how speakers respond in a room, and they'll actually have the computer measure that so that they can create better models based on those cabinets to make it sound even that much more true to the original. But yeah, the different cabs, you have a bunch of single cabs here. There are guitar and bass cabinets throughout this. So just the number of things that you can do with this is just insane. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is get this camera resituated so that I can do a little bit of a kind of playthrough thing, and we'll go from there. So this one is a straight up, relatively clean, not a lot of effects on it. So again, that one had a little, or didn't have any modeling on it. That's one that I would use just with a straight up amp. Right now I'm just running straight into a board. So what I'll do now is I'll switch over to my main bread and butter one, which has some modeling on it. I'll play around a little bit, and then I'm just going to switch back and forth between some different patches here and just do a quick demo of what's up, and hope you enjoy the rest of the Fellowship of the Pedal Boards and Pedals. Thanks a lot.
Wow.